My name is Morena Moletsane, very artistic, founder of Borotho. I think the biggest inspiration of Borotho is because I wanted to create a brand, to establish something from the ground. So why the name Borotho? Borotho means breaking bread. Biggest part of the African society is the sharing of knowledge, the spending of time, conversation. Biggest inspiration comes from the illustration of African novels. And obviously Bessie Head, learning about her in high school, it was very interesting because we'd learned books like The Great Gatsby, but there was something about the African novels that really stood out to me because it brought it back home. And most of the work that I do is inspired by that. And it being digital, it's very important for me to try give it that traditional feel. So it's a digital sketch, but in the same breath, adding those strokes that give it more of a traditional look. And I feel like that always speaks to the African aesthetic. A lot of times we question what is the African aesthetic, but I think what's most important about it is commentating life, telling stories. And authors like Bessie Head really inspired me a lot because they told the stories, even though they were fictional, but that brought it home and that spoke about things that happened at home. So the process that I undergo when I'm creating work, first it starts by reading an African novel. So I read it, and a lot of my visual representation comes from what do I see, what do I depict? And a lot of it is personal because with most of the sketches that I have one sketch of the woman praying. That's an actual personal illustration of my aunt, the person that raised me and I grew up with. The process just comes from a place where seeing what Bessie Head is saying in her books, and then I just personalize it. The first time I heard of the Design Indaba Emerging Creatives was last year, 2019, beginning of the year. I was just surfing the net and I saw this Emerging Creatives. No one really told me about it. I was like, hey man, this is cool, let me try apply on it. I went on the internet, I applied. It was an exciting moment because then as time grew on me, I realized how important, this festival is. And obviously coming here, the biggest highlight, I think it's connecting with other creatives. Spending time with the creatives has been the most important. I see how science has been fused with design. I've learned about furniture design, which I never thought wasn't a thing. And matter of fact, even having a collaboration with a friend of mine who's a furniture designer. And obviously, the biggest highlight is seeing these disciplines all come together and seeing how design is not merely aesthetics, but it's actually functional. I think for me, that's just been a mind-blowing experience that I've been having.